Welcome back, guys and gals. Matty back again, and today we are going to talk some new backpacking gear that I'm going to be going into the 2021 backpacking season. Kind of customary every year, I end up getting a little bit of new gear for the upcoming season. I am a bit of a gearhead. I love my backpacking gear, and I'm always tweaking and I'm always updating my backpacking gear setup. And today I wanted to talk about some of the new gear that we are going to be going forward with in 2021, and it's not really going to be in any particular order, but near the end of this video I am going to talk about the piece of gear that I am most excited for going into 2021. So if you guys are interested in seeing the piece of gear that I am the most excited about going forward into this next coming year, stick around to the end of the video. Let's start diving into some of this gear. The first piece of gear that we're going to talk about is a piece of gear that I have hinted at and I've talked about a little bit in some previous videos. So some of you guys and gals may be aware of the addition that I'm adding to my backpacking kit going into 2021, and that is the Deuce of Spades trowel. Yes, I am going to be adding a shit shovel or a poop trowel into my backpacking kit. The reasoning behind it is just the 2020 summer, I saw so much evidence of people not following leave no trace principles, and I came across campsites and trails absolutely littered with human feces and the white blooms of toilet paper all over the place. And as I was thinking about it, I kind of got thinking, you know, what more could I do to try and help preach the leave no trace principles and try and educate people? And one thing that people continually brought up, and I got asked a lot last summer, is why I don't carry a trowel with me when I'm out on trail. So I decided to bite the bullet and add 0.6 ounces or 17 grams to my backpacking kit, and I picked up the Tent Labs Deuce of Spades trowel. This is a ridiculously lightweight, very sturdy little aluminum trowel, and what specifically pushed me on getting the Deuce of Spades trowel is not only do they come in a whack of sweet colors, and if you guys know Matty, you guys know I love my blue. Blue is my favorite color, so getting it in a sweet little blue like this was a bonus. After backpacking with some of my friends this summer and seeing some of my friends use the Deuce of Spades trowel and having them just, you know, toss it to me when I was going to do my business, and just seeing how much easier it is digging a cat hole with the little trowel as opposed to using your trekking pole or a stick, which is what I was doing previously to picking up this trowel. And to me, I thought the 0.6 ounces or 17 grams was totally worth the additional weight to my backpacking kit. So we are adding the Deuce of Spades trowel to our backpacking gear loadout going forward into 2021. And as we're talking about the Deuce of Spades, if you guys are interested in picking up a Deuce of Spades or any of the other gear that I'm going to be talking about in this video, there will be links in the description box down below where you guys can pick up some of this gear if you guys are interested, or if you guys want some more information on this gear. Like I said, links will be in the video description box down below. Now, before we dive into the second piece of gear, coming up in the next couple weeks, Wanda and I are going to be doing a Q&A or an Ask Me Anything type video. So if you guys have any questions for myself or for Wanda, head on over to the community tab and find this post right here. And in the comment section of that post, drop us a question, and in a couple weeks, we will pop out a video answering all your guys' questions from that post. The second piece of gear that we are adding to our backpacking gear loadout for 2021 is going to be the Nitecore NU25 headlamp. It is pretty highly regarded as the top of the line, best ultralight headlamp out there on the market, coming in at 1 3/4 of an ounce or 50 grams with the included head strap. Look at the size of this thing. This thing is freaking tiny. Like I said, ridiculously lightweight. Maximum output of 360 lumens. It's got the red light feature. You know, it's got a couple different brightness settings on the white light feature. And a bonus for myself, if you can see on the bottom here, it's got this little tab. Underneath this tab is the USB recharging port. It recharges with a little micro USB cord. And for myself, that is a huge bonus because all of my electronics that I carry out on trail are USB rechargeable, either with a USB-C or a micro USB. So adding a rechargeable headlamp to my backpacking gear loadout is a big bonus for myself. And it also shaves a little bit of weight off of my previous headlamp that I was carrying, a black diamond headlamp. So just adding this headlamp is going to offset the little bit of weight that I add to my kit by adding the Deuce of Spades trowel. So we are going with the Nitecore NU25 headlamp. And I may eventually at some point change out the head strap with some shock cord, as is pretty common. A lot of people like to add shock cord to the head strap on these things to save a little bit more weight. I'm not sure how much weight I'm going to save by doing that, but that may be something I look at adding over the winter. As we dive into the next piece of gear, you guys and gals may be aware that I am a big fan of multi-purpose gear items, and this next piece of gear is going to be multi-purpose, and it's a little bit of a luxury item, but it's not something I'm going to be carrying on all my backpacking trips. This is going to be something that I will probably carry on 2 to 3 day backpacking trips and definitely winter backpacking trips. And we are talking about the Okupa rechargeable hand warmer / battery bank. Now, obviously, when I am out on a backpacking trip and I am doing some filming out on trail, I do need a way to keep my electronics charged. So I am always packing a small battery bank with me. So having a battery bank that's also going to double as an instant hand warmer is a pretty sweet bonus, especially when you're doing backpacking trips up here in the Canadian Rockies in the dead middle of winter. I very recently used this guy out on a backpacking trip where we hit temperatures down to -30. And this guy here performed awesome, keeping my electronics charged up, as well as keeping my hands warm. Carried this guy in my pocket with me all the time. And anytime I needed to do some filming, I would take my gloves off to operate my camera. And when you're out filming in -20 to -30 degree weather, your hands get cold instantly. So after operating my camera, hit the little button on the top here. The light lights up. It's got 3 different heat settings, and the hottest setting gets up to 131 degrees Fahrenheit. Now for me, even using this out in the extreme temperatures that I was using this guy in very recently, I only really needed to put this up to the 1st or 2nd heat setting. The 3rd heat setting, like I said, 131 degrees Fahrenheit, was just way too hot for anything that I needed when I was out there on trail. But this guy worked fantastic for keeping my hands warm and keeping my electronics charged for that trip. Operation is extremely simple, like I showed. You just push and hold the button to get it turned on, and then to cycle through the heat settings, just give it a click. To turn it off, push and hold, it shuts off. And if you want to charge your devices, it's got a little adapter here that plugs into the USB-C, and it gives you a regular USB outlet. And then you plug your cords into there, and you can charge any of your electronic devices that you need to out on trail. Now, weights on the Okupa Handwarmer / battery bank. This guy here, 4 3/4 ounce or 136 grams. You can grab these on Amazon. They come in a 5200 milliamp battery bank as well as a 10,000 milliamp battery bank. So if you guys need a little bit more power than the 5200, they do have a little bit bigger one available. And like I mentioned before, I will put links in the video description box down below. Like I mentioned at the start of this video, at the end, we were going to talk about the piece of gear that I am most excited to add to my kit going forward in 2021. And it is this guy right here. I'm going to be adding a stroller to my hiking kit going forward in 2021. Out of all the hiking gear I have ever added to my kit, this piece of gear right here is probably the piece of gear I am most excited about out of anything I've ever added to my hiking kit. Coming up in June, my fiance and I will be welcoming a little baby boy to our family. It's going to be our first, and I am extremely excited to meet the little guy and get him out on trail and introduce him to some of the amazing areas that I've explored, and hopefully pass on my love of the outdoors and my passion for hiking and backpacking onto him. So we are going to be adding a stroller to our hiking kit going forward in 2021. Now, obviously, we are throwing the base weight right out the window with this piece of gear here. But if you guys and gals are interested in shaving weight and getting towards that ultralight backpacking gear loadout, what I've got over here is a playlist full of weight-saving backpacking tips. And I would greatly appreciate it if you guys and gals head on over there and find a video on that playlist. Give me some views, give me some watch time, because I have to buy all the diapers going forward. So, like I said, head on over there, find a video on that playlist. As always, guys, I'm Matty. Thank you guys so dang much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.